game. 3 batters in with a 3-run bomb. And Emily Hott starts the game off for the Baylor Bears.
Emily Hott had a couple leadoff home runs during regional play in Louisiana. First at bat, start of the game, hit one against Ole Miss, as well as the final against Louisiana. And that was something that is strategic. I think just in the way that this lineup is strategized, head coach Glenn Moore said, I think the pitchers are the most vulnerable in the first hitter that they face. And Emily Hott with 10 home runs on the year will do it.
Well played at second base by Mia Williams, 1 down. Already off to a better start for Keegan Rothrock, who walked Emily Hott to lead off the game in both
games
of our games leading up to game 3 today. Did not record an out in game 2. She quickly has 2 here in game 3.
Yeah, game 1, Rothrock saw 7 hitters at the top of the first inning. Game 2, she faced 8 in the bottom of the first. So she has been worked, hit hard early in the game, and right now 2 quick outs.
And now it's Shaylin Govan. Govan in the postseason has hit .500 with 3 home runs and 7 runs batted in. And this is a Baylor team that has jumped out to early leads in both games of this Super Regional.
Such a clutch swing this postseason too, and not by accident. This is a young woman that spends a lot of time on the mental game. Works with a sports psychologist, had a long call with her sports psychologist coming into this weekend, and she said, look, the focus is standing firm in my confidence, the work I've put in all season long.
Hitters count to Govan. We were so interested, Aaron, to see who Tim Walton, the head coach for Florida, would go with in the circle today. Would it be Keegan Rothrock, his SEC Freshman of the Year, or would it be Ava Brown, who replaced her yesterday and went 6 innings, allowing just 2 earned runs? And a base hit up the middle with 2 outs keeps the inning alive for the Baylor Bears.
Well, and in game 1, too, the first start for Rothrock, despite Florida coming away with the win, Rothrock was hit well. Solid contact. You saw swings like this throughout the entire ball game. Govan being one of those. They were seeing her pitches really solidly. Not swinging out of the zone. They were patient at the plate. And so that was the question you and I had. Would we see her get the ball in game 2? And we did.
And she only faced 3 batters before Shaylin Govan knocked her out of the game. Now it's Aaliyah Binford, who you must be careful with. 3 for 6 in the Super Regional. 2 runs batted in and a home run in game 1. Go-ahead run aboard for Baylor. Oh, she was fooled badly on that off-speed.
That's a pitch I anticipate to see a little bit more of today. Not one that we've seen peppered throughout early counts throughout this weekend. She saved it more for 2-strike pitchers counts.
Throwing to her battery mate, the SEC Player of the Year, Jocelyn Erickson. Those two have made a terrific tandem. Both in their first years in Gator uniforms.
So if you start to pay attention to speeds too, you're going to see 3 distinct speeds from Rothrock. She's got the hard rise fastball, 72 miles an hour, and off-speed curve, mid-60s.
Binford pops up the 2-2. It is Skylar Wallace, and Rothrock gets out of the first unscathed.
I'm really looking too to the 1 through 4 here for Florida. 3 for 12 on the weekend at the top of this order. All of those hits coming by way of Skylar Wallace. This is the portion of the order that has the most speed. Falby, who stands in, 19 stolen bases. Otis on deck, 13. Skylar Wallace has stolen 36 bases this year. And
SEC leader.
they've kept him off base, right? The top of this order has been pretty silent.
They did get good production in the 2 spot in game 1 from Corby Otis. Of course, she had that home run in the 5th to really put the Gators out of reach for Baylor. Ended up winning game 1 4-2. But this Bears team, the last unseeded team left in the tournament, has fought all year.
A lot of their leadership coming from the top of this order as well. Skylar Wallace, a 6th-year senior.
And Falby draws a walk to lead off the game.
You and I had talked too, Matt, just coming into this stadium, witnessing Florida warm up, walk onto the field. There was a looseness today that we felt. There was a different energy in the air, and outside looking in, you would assume that Florida's the one that's feeling pressure right now. They're the host team. They're expected to go. They're the seeded squad.
Chance for a double play here. The flip to short. Pylon throw to first, not in time. Beat out by Corby Otis.
We'll see if anybody comes out of the dugout. I'm not sure if this may be challenged. Doesn't look like there's any movement. This was a close play. Defense continuing to do what they do for Baylor. They've been solid all weekend long. And I think that was the right call. Corby Otis legs this one out at first.
First base umpire Susan Eads. And in steps Skylar Wallace. Riding a 13-game hit streak. And already 4 for 5 in the Super Regional. Go-ahead run aboard for the Gators here in the bottom of the first. And you referenced the leadership at the top of this order, Aaron. It really starts and stops with Skylar Wallace, last year's SEC Player of the Year, a 6th year, and one of 5 players on this Gator roster with College World Series experience. Takes the 1-2 up the middle and into center field. Otis trying for third, and the tag won't get there. Wallace advances. Second and third, 1 out for the Gators.
This is the danger, right? This is the danger of early base runners for the Gators with 13 stolen bases on the year for Corby Otis. Sure thing that she was going to take another 60 feet. A smooth swing by Skylar Wallace up the middle of the field, and you got 2 leaders in tandem working together early in this game to start to conjure up some momentum. We didn't see this in the past 2 games.
They are attacking, and they are fired up. And in steps Jocelyn Erickson,
who's been Miss Clutch all year long. We talked to Tim Walton about that, the intangible, something you can't really quantify, but it's in her blood. I can think of a handful of games watching and calling this season, both you and I, for Florida, and Jocelyn's come up clutch.
Erickson, this year's SEC Player of the Year, has the go-ahead run just 60 feet away at third base in the form of Corby Otis. And so often this year, it has been Jocelyn Erickson driving in the game-winning runs, sometimes even in walk-off fashion. Had 2 walk-offs in the regular season finale sweep of Texas A&M here a month ago.
This is a pitch for Crandall. If she can get this call against lefties, she's going to be dangerous. That's up and away. You can already start to hear the crowd
chirping a little bit
involved.
here.
We heard it yesterday.
2-2 into right field. Gliding over is Watson. Coming in to tag and score is Corby Otis. And for the first time in the series, the Gators strike first.
There was a looseness. There was a confidence that was felt before the first pitch was even thrown today. And I felt it from Florida, the way they warmed up, the way they approached this ballpark, the way they walked into this field. Cool, calm, collected.
Well, with that RBI, Jocelyn Erickson now ties the single-season program record set by Megan Bush with 80 runs batted in. 0-1 to Reagan Walsh. Skylar Wallace advancing to third base as well on that fly ball to right. So with any ball to the outfield here, Gators will take a 2-0 lead. And there it is. 2-zip Florida on an RBI single by Reagan Walsh. There absolutely is a different energy in the building today here at Presley Stadium for the Gators.
Well, you start to wonder, with a complete 7 innings in the circle from Crandall yesterday, what's the energy tank looking like? This is also a Florida offense that has seen a lot of pitches out of this arm. How long is the leash here? When might we see a change?
Well, we did see Aaliyah Binford start game 1 for Baylor. She went the distance and is now with a day of rest after not pitching at all yesterday, after Riley Crandall went the distance for Baylor in game 2. The other thing to mention with Riley Crandall is a lot of her innings as of late have been high leverage innings. She threw a complete game victory in game 7 against Louisiana. And now Glenn Moore is going to come out.
That wants the ball. Too, Matt, we talked about some of the positions that Crandall has been in her career, to have to step up for this team.
Big wins for her over her career. Of course, yesterday's win over 4-seeded Florida, but last year beat Texas twice, beat Tennessee as a freshman, mind you. Two-two count to Katie Kistler, who has driven in 5 runs in the NCAA tournament to this point. Riley Crandall trying to get out of the inning with a 2-run deficit. And she will, going upstairs for to Women's College World Series team. The freshman Keegan Rothrock back in the circle. Threw just 12 pitches in the first inning. She also threw 12 pitches in the first inning yesterday.
Against 3 batters.
And didn't record an out. Much different start for Rothrock and the Gators today.
And this, again, is a freshman arm in the circle that does not feel like a freshman anymore. We had asked her that question coming into this weekend is, you look back, the first pitch you threw in a Gator uniform to now, what's it feel like? What's the difference? And she said, I don't even feel like the same human. So much has happened, right? The mentality has shifted. You've settled in. You've gained a little bit of experience. She talked a lot about her battery mate in Jocelyn Erickson, the nonverbal communication, almost like a sixth sense that she has with her receiver.
And Tim Walton and Chelsea Dobbins, the pitching coach for Florida, so proud of what Keegan Rothrock has accomplished as she catches the inside corner on Sydney Colazzos. Remember, this is a young lady who was the National Gatorade Player of the Year in high school out of the state of Indiana. 3-time Indiana Gatorade Player of the Year. Came in with a mountain of expectations. With Florida not returning a single inning pitched from a season ago, she has lived up to it and more. Now a finalist for National Freshman of the Year. High pop up left side, playable in foul territory, and Kowalewski makes the catch. And right there, Keegan Rothrock was behind in the count 3-0, battles back to get the first out of the second inning.
Well, Tim Walton had talked about this staff in great detail with us. He said one thing about our arms is that the more they face someone, the better they get, the more educated they are in the circle.
Anna Watson flares it into left field, and Skylar Wallace puts it away for out number 2. One of the things I felt from this Baylor team yesterday is that they worked at bats, both against Keegan Rothrock and then Ava Brown, who relieved Rothrock in the first inning. We've seen a lot of first pitch swings
Yeah, quick
to start
outs.
the game.
Quick outs. Yeah, there was a lot of patience, I think, for the Bears through day 1 and day 2. And while I think they've managed the strike zone well, they haven't chased out of the zone. Right now, it's aggressive. It's early.
I think there's some jitters there for a team that has not been here since 2017.
Maybe. I don't know. This is a team that historically has walked into others' houses and gotten the job done. The past 3 super regionals, they go on the road and they punch their ticket. Last time they did that was 2017.
And in that, they were down a game to Arizona
Yeah.
to start. Then they won back-to-back against the 5 seed Wildcats.
Make no mistake, too, this was talked about. The history of this team and what they have done to get to Oklahoma City was talked about in detail. Why not? It's part of who they are. It's part of their DNA.
Abby Flores draws a 2-out walk.
It also, Matt, reflects the season that this team has had. Challenged early. Had a bit of a spell during the middle of the year, a losing streak. I hate saying that, by the way. I think it's a bad term. It's like slump. It's a bad word. But this team never waved the white flag. They had a lot of success late in the season. And you saw the same thing on a micro scale in regionals at Louisiana. Took it to game 3, won the first 2. Got run ruled by the host 13-0, and then turns around and wins in the if game to get here. This team fights.
0-2 count to Casey West in the 8th spot for Baylor. That has been their MO all year. The underdog who finds a way, who fights, who grits it out. To your point, they lost 8 of their first 9 games in the Big 12 and have made it here to the Super.
Well, he told us, he said, I don't know a lot of teams that would have hung in there like our team has. They continue to work, continued to love on each other. Our seniors, our leaders stepped up, but to get thumped 13-0 on the last day of regionals and still find a way to come back and advance.
Rothrock finding a way. First strikeout of the game ends the second inning. And Baylor still scoreless.
Matt, and I hope if you're tuning in right now that you stay glued to it, because I think we're going to have another wild day. We're going to punch some tickets today.
We are. 5 tickets will be punched today. 5 game 3s on Super Regional Sunday ties a record. And we are one of those 5. All 5 can be found on the ESPN family of networks. Florida Gators trying to get back for the 12th time. Won back-to-back national titles in 2014 and 2015. And have a bit of a different squad this year. Heavily relying upon freshmen, including the starting third baseman Ariel Kowalewski, who digs in here with a 2-1 count.
Such a solid season for Kowalewski. 311 coming into today. Batting average, 7 home runs on the year. She hit a little bit of a hiccup, I think, during SEC play.
Not a slump, a hiccup.
It's a hiccup. We don't say slump around these parts. It's not part of my vocabulary.
That's a 5-letter word that's never said. Shoots this down the line into left field, and a leadoff single for the freshman Kowalewski.
It never ceases to amaze me, the mentality of freshmen entering our sport. Their ability to withstand adversity, to hit some of those hiccups and continue to trust the process. And that's exactly what Kowalewski has done. Her introduction into conference play was rough at first, but she trusted her talent and has been such an integral part of this lineup.
Now has hits in 9 of her last 11 games. Stands on base with nobody out for Ava Brown. Another freshman who was dynamite in the circle in relief of Keegan Rothrock yesterday. Today gets the start at first base.
You already throw in the adversity of being a freshman and having to learn the ropes quickly, let alone being a two-way player. The amount of time, the extra reps, the individual work you've got to put in to master hitting and pitching.
High fly ball left center field and playable. Taylor Strain makes the catch, slipping on the track, but gets it back in.
I always do think that if you pitch, it likely makes you a better hitter. Having that perspective of being on the rubber, having the mind of a pitcher, understanding the strategy of what you're seeing, maybe a better understanding of the strike zone if you are the starting arm.
And yet at the same time, you are analyzing so much information pitch to pitch, whether you're the one in the circle or the one in the batter's box.
Well, and then having to compartmentalize, Matt, right? If you're pitching games on that day, but you're struggling at the plate, not having both of those bleed into each other takes a lot of maturity.
Leah Williams gets it down in fair territory. The throw to first is not in time. Aaliyah Binford couldn't quite get it there. And now Shaylin Govan, the first baseman for Baylor, is saying that hit off of Williams while she was still in the box.
Yeah, so Cameron Ellison behind home plate. This is going to be a tough look for him. The body of Williams, I think, does not allow him to see that. You can see it hits the kneecap. Terry Holt, umpire at third base, does get a good look at this. Yeah, it hits the knee. But she's in the box, right? So they pull her back.
0-2. Williams into center. Back on it is Strain at the wall and gone! Mia Williams in the 9 spot. 4-zip Gators. Forget the bunt.
Wow. Taking destiny into your own hands. Couldn't execute the bunt? Let me give you something better. Look at where this pitch is thrown. This is almost in the river. Mia Williams throwing the barrel, drops the back knee. This is textbook Florida hitting. We have heard Tim Walton talk ad nauseum about the back knee. That is such a signature fundamental of Gator swings. I think of Francesca Anea on staff for Florida. Home run swing with the knee on the dirt. That's exactly what you see from Mia Williams there, dead center field. Such a gorgeous cut.
Her first hit of the postseason, a 2-run bomb, and it is going to send Riley Crandall to the dugout, at least for now.
You're going to see a lot of change-ups. One of the filthiest changes I saw in postseason so far. We saw her pepper Louisiana with it in Lafayette. Was ranked number 1 in Big 12 for strikeouts.
Trying to stem the tide here. It has been a Florida onslaught, as we have grown accustomed to seeing from this team really all year, but particularly in May. An offensive juggernaut during their 12-game win streak, which was snapped by Baylor yesterday.
Felt like a ticking time bomb, yeah?
Totally.
Just a matter of time before Florida offense opened the floodgates. Been knocking on the door all weekend. Yeah, there's the changeup. You're going to see that a lot. Fearless in any count. How about the Twizzler art on the netting?
Full count to Kendra Falby. Goes down looking on another fluttering change by Aaliyah Binford.
Yeah, this off speed is going to challenge Florida's ability to adjust quickly. This is right down Broadway. You got to know you're going to see this pitch. You're going to see this speed against Binford. Takes a lot of trust to sit that speed the entire way through. That would be my approach against this arm.
One and one to Corby Otis. Well, Leah Binford in her first start of the Super Regional went 6 innings through the entire game for the Bears. 4 earned runs on 5 hits, 4 strikeouts. Took the loss in a really good battle and gave her team a chance to come out with a win in that game. But it was Corby Otis's home run in the 5th inning of game 1 that really put the Gators out of reach.
Such a swagger for Corby Otis. So confident.
Draws a 2-out walk.
And not just Coach Walton, but teammates. You hear everyone around Corby Otis that gets to play with her, coach her, talk about the work ethic, the mindset. Leaves no stone unturned. sometimes to a fault even. Coach Walton said, I need her just to exhale at times, just to trust her stuff. You can see Binford smiling there. We've had some chirpy fans that have some opinions.
To Skylar Wallace, who has hit .769 in the NCAA tournament with 8 runs batted in. And we welcome those of you joining us on ESPN after the NCAA Women's Lacrosse Championship. Welcome to Gainesville, as a pair of 2-out walks have been drawn by the Florida Gators, who for the first time in this
different look here in game 3 for Florida. Came out early, aggressive. Really hadn't seen that all weekend long. And I think that was the expectation, too, for what this offense has done the past 3-4 weeks, what they've done in the last 12 games. And even, too, the comment yesterday from Tim Walton was that we're trying to do too much. We're pressing.
Well, to your point, 12-game win streak, 11-game win streak coming into the Super Regional. Over the course of that 11-game win streak, they hit .332, 27 doubles, 13 home runs. But in this Super Regional, through the first 2 games, they hit just 200. And we did not see nearly as many extra base hits. That has changed today. And if you're just joining us, it was a 2-run homer by Mia Williams in this inning to put the Gators on top 4-zip. Aaliyah Binford gets a strikeout. Gators strand 2. But Florida, and the losers' season comes to an end. First pitch swinging, sent in the air to right field. Off the bat of Taylor Strain, 1 down.
The aggressiveness continues. Early swings. And you're talking to somebody that did that even in their own career. I loved to swing early. I loved to swing often. First strike you see, lay the hammer on it. But that's not what was successful for Baylor the last 2 days. Patience is what paid for the Bears.
They worked deep counts against Keegan Rothrock in game 1. In spite of their loss, two down, and again did it in game 2 against Rothrock and Ava Brown. The Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City. Action begins Thursday, noon Eastern, live on ESPN. For more information on the 2024 Women's College World Series, go to NCAA.com, the official online home of all 90 NCAA championships. 2 outs and the base is clear for Presley Pylon. One thing you have to say about this Baylor team, they are never out of it. Have scratched and clawed and fought all year to get to this point. Aaron, you referenced a couple of innings ago, losing 8 of their first 9 Big 12 games. And Presley Pylon wanted to call time. It was, I don't believe, granted.
It was a ball.
And it's a 3-0 count.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of good short game, quality short game from Pylon. She's got speed, 9 stolen bases on the season, leads the starting 9. She dropped a textbook bunt, had a beautiful soft slap chopped over to Kowalewski at third base. Hammered that ball into the ground, a high hop. Such a fundamental slapper at left side. And has the ability to stand in and swing. Has a home run on this season as well.
And was one of a number of players who have had to adjust to all the adversity and the injury losses this year to this Baylor team, sliding over from second base to shortstop. 3-2 up the middle into center field. And a 2-out base hit for Presley Pylon.
So Skylar Wallace just called time. And this was a ball that was hit just past Skylar Wallace at shortstop for a base hit. And you can see here the break. Watch her peel off to try and field this ball, and she slips. Cleat goes out from under, and you could see her kind of grab that back leg. She's still hobbling too, Matt, bending over.
Well, she is a warrior.
Tough as nails.
Sixth-year player, last year's SEC Player of the Year. A trip to the Women's College World Series in 2022 with this Florida program. And certainly one of the key leaders in the Florida program here in 2024. Shaylin Govan at the plate, 2-0 count. Homered yesterday to give Baylor the lead in the first inning, knocking Keegan Rothrock out of the game after she faced just 3 batters. This one right back to Rothrock. And an underhand toss.
I've seen it. May have even seen a glove on that ball up the middle of the field.
Seemed to be okay coming off the field after that 3rd out. We will keep an eye on that as Reagan Walsh digs in for the Gators. First time all super regional. They are playing with a lead from the jump. Remember, in game 1 and in game 2, it was Baylor scoring early and forcing Florida to play from behind. They have gotten great production from their 5 through 9 hitters today, a combined 3 for 5. And it was Reagan Walsh who got the scoring started back in the first inning with an RBI single to left field. Down to the count 0-2 to Aaliyah Binford.
We've already seen 2 strikeouts with Binford in the circle, both backwards Ks. Watched the changeup for strike 3. We've yet to see a response against that changeup. One of the filthiest I saw through regional play. Tight spin. You can see she uses that arm side to really spin the ball. Pulls the string.
She's just a competitor.
She is such a competitor. So fun to watch work.
Oh, that one almost took her glove off. Line shot into center. And back-to-back base knocks for Reagan Walsh.
She must have heard me. That's the first successful swing we've seen on the off-speed of Binford, and this is right back up the middle. See the hiccup in the lower half? She double clutches the leg, and that's what allows Reagan Walsh to be on time. Wow. Almost gets her.
Not much you can do there if you're Aaliyah Binford. And now Katie Kistler at the plate for Florida, thinking bunt potentially here. Tim Walton's team coming out with something a little bit different this afternoon. looked almost tight yesterday. Not today. Kistler, foul territory left side and out of the reach of Emily Hott, giving chase in left field.
Thought we may have seen another web gem there.
She certainly had one of 3 Baylor web gems yesterday. Their defense
Lights out.
was on another level.
Lights out. One of the most impressive complete performances from Baylor I've seen in a long time. Defense was sound. Pitching was sound. Hitting was on point.
How about that diving play? In and out of the glove of Anna Watson. And both runners are safe on a single by Katie Kistler. But what an effort by Anna Watson. Had to come a long way, finishing it with a Superman dive in right center.
So much respect for Baylor defense. They never hold anything back. Diving bodies, elite throws. It's all there on D. And you as a pitcher, right, you have to have so much confidence knowing that that's behind you. A great swing there too by Kistler, legs it out to second base. That's why you stay on your horse too. You don't stop until you see the ball caught. Scoring position now.
2-1, nobody out for Ariel Kowalewski.
Oh, I stand corrected. They got 2 on. It's moving so fast here. I can't even keep up.
Well, this Florida offense has come alive. They had 10 hits through the first 2 games. Today, already 6 hits through 2 innings and change.
Well, even more impressive there because Walsh sees that ball down. Base running is one of those things too, Matt, I think that isn't talked about enough, and it can win you ball games. The strategy between 60 feet can make or break a ball game.
Reagan Walsh in scoring position. Katie Kistler behind her. And now a full count to Ariel Kowalewski. A big stretch of 3 potential outs here for Aaliyah Binford, taking on 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup. With 2 on and nobody out and a 4-run deficit for Baylor. The payoff. Upstairs and the bases are loaded for Ava Brown.
Lazo's behind the plate just to step out, have a word with her pitcher. A lot of leadership.
We've said it all afternoon, a different energy and pop for the Florida Gators in Game 3 with a trip to Oklahoma City on the line. And Presley Stadium is ready to erupt with the bases loaded and nobody out.
That's a big swing. In a 1-1 count, a conversion count for Binford to be able to get that bite low at the knees, that's a big pitch.
Infield drawn in. Baylor understanding the importance of keeping runs off the board. Already looking at a 4-run deficit here in the bottom of the 3rd. And now a full count to Ava Brown.
First postseason for Ava Brown. Freshman bat in the box. Bases juiced, no outs, full count.
Draws a walk, 5-0 Gators.
The discipline, Matt, that it takes in that moment, having never felt it before. We forget so often that these are firsts. For a lot of these women on the field, these are firsts. The moment can feel big, the pressure can...
And the bases are loaded again. But now a double play ends the inning and keeps Florida off the board in the third.
And how badly you want that strike there after the successful, the call being overturned. You just sense a little bit of labor in the circle from Binford.
She is narrowly missing strikes.
Yeah.
And Florida has had a great eye all afternoon. Mia Williams, in her last at bat, her first hit of the postseason, a 2-run bomb to right center. Bases loaded, one down in the bottom of the third, and the 4-seed Florida Gators with a 4-run lead. Williams fouled. Reagan Walsh at third base. Leo Kowalewski at second. Ava Brown at first. The 1-2.
Binford having to be so careful right now in the strike zone. Mia Williams homered back in the second inning on a pitch out of the hands of Rothrock that was well placed off the plate.
2-2, right back into the mid of Aaliyah Binford. And the throw to first is in time. Double play to get Baylor out of the inning. Walton, coach, your decision to start Keegan Rothrock in her third straight start of the day, what went into that and any conversations you had with her?
That's what we came into this weekend with. That was our plan going forward.
Coach, it just feels like your team's loose. Just watching them warm up, they were locked in. Have you noticed? You've got your finger on the pulse of this group. Noticed anything different in day 3?
No, I felt like we were pretty good yesterday. We just got beat. We didn't play as well as we're playing right now. Obviously, it's a 7-inning game for a reason, but I feel like we played pretty good, the last couple days as far as the temperature is concerned. Obviously, we got some bad luck that inning, but overall, I feel pretty good.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Go Gators.
And it'll be Keegan Rothrock back in the circle after a massive, massive momentum shifter by Aaliyah Binford in the circle. Had bases loaded, nobody out, gets out of the jam, and now leads off the 4th inning at the plate for the Baylor Bears.
You could see the exhale from Binford.
And helps herself out. Fair ball down the left field line. It is a leadoff single.
Extra
and now
60
she's
feet.
Take it to second base.
Wow.
On a botch throw in.
Well, Binford helped herself out with the double play that ended what could have been an offensive rally last inning for Florida. You felt the weight exhaled off of her shoulder, just dispersed with that double play to end it. And then she comes up, starts the inning with a base hit, and collects an extra 60 feet. We've talked about the importance and I think the tall task of a two-way player. Binford has handled it so well all weekend long.
Base hit, and then an error by Corby Otis in left field. Runner in scoring position for Sydney Cavazos. And it is the first time all afternoon that Baylor has had a runner in scoring position. They have been efficient in these situations in the Super. 4 for 10 coming into the day with runners in scoring position. And Rothrock looking into the dugout at Tim Walton, unsure where that pitch missed. Three-0 to Sydney Cavazos. Colazos into left field. Back on it is Otis, and it's off the base of the wall. Binford will come in to score, and the Bears are on the board in the fourth.
This is that fight, right? This is the fight that we have seen from Baylor all year long. They never wave the white flag. They find a way to get crafty. They get creative at the plate. They rely on other aspects of their game in order to buy themselves time to figure things out. You can't help, Matt, but to look at last inning. The momentum that created for Baylor to get that inning-ending double play. Binford, holding that momentum herself, starts off this inning with a base hit, takes an extra 60 feet with the botched throw, and all of a sudden it feels like Baylor's in it.
And how big has Sydney Colazos been in the postseason now? 4 for 8 in the Super Regional. She stands at first base as Anna Watson digs in for the Baylor Bears. Binford coming around to score. And this is flared down the line in left, and it will be caught on the run by Skylar Wallace. How she got that, I don't know.
The athleticism of this team, but more specifically of Skylar Wallace. This is the expectation for Florida Gator defense, and it starts with Skylar. It starts with that senior at shortstop.
That last little bit of acceleration when she realized Ariel Kowalewski wasn't going to get that ball.
Yes. And you know what? Kowalewski talked to us about that. Her getting used to that position at third base, and really it came down to how comfortable Skylar Wallace has allowed her to be at the hot corner. She's got that protection, right? She's got that communicator at shortstop, a leader on the dirt to help her get used to that position.
One and one to Abby Flores. It's a big out for Keegan Rothrock. Gives up back-to-back singles. A run comes in to score. Tim Walton goes out, brings his defense in for a chat in the circle, and now has a chance to get 2 in a row. Into center. Back-to-back outs for Keegan Rothrock. And now we will see a pinch hitter for the Baylor Bears. In the 8th spot for Casey West. It'll be Shannon Vivoda pinch hitting. Oh, and 2 quickly to Vivoda.
Such a good location at the knees. That's a tough pitch to hit, too, if you're Vivoda. That's right on the line, the bottom part of that strike zone.
Oh, 3-pitch strikeout. Keegan Rothrock sets down the side. Binford, bases loaded, nobody out, gets out of it. What did you see from her and your defense to get out of that jam?
Well, you know, she just made a great play on them, you know, taking a little time getting back to first. Keeping the ball down is crucial right now. They're swinging it well, seeing it well, and we're working behind in the count. We're not doing anything really to this point that would give us an advantage from the circle, so we've got to get better. I think that change has thrown them off a little bit, but great offensive team. We're going to still have to go at them, though.
Coach, the fight this group has had all season, all postseason, all game, how proud you must be of this group, specifically of your leaders, of your seniors. Speak to that.
Yeah, well, this group didn't come here to go to the beach. They came here to win, so they're expecting it, and they'll keep fighting to the end. And they've done that all year, and in the midst of quite a bit of adversity as well. So I'm very, very proud of them, especially the senior group. So
appreciate the time, Coach. Good luck.
Also, I'd like to attribute to our fallen in this Memorial Day weekend. I want to say thank you for the families that have sacrificed everything for us. So thank you.
Thank you,
Such a
Coach.
good reminder.
Well, he speaks to the fight of his seniors. Aaliyah Binford is a fifth-year junior out of New Braunfels, Texas, a second-team All-Big 12 selection, back in the circle. Has certainly taken on a leadership position. Has pitched, has played third base, has hit for herself all year. And Coach made mention to the adversity that his team has been through. They lost their ace, Dariana Orm, at the beginning of the year. Led the team in innings pitched, ERA, and strikeouts last season. They also lost their starting center fielder and leadoff hitter, Mackenzie Wilson. Their starting shortstop, Amber Tovin. And then recently, losing freshman Leah Cran, who was a key piece off the bench. The amount of injuries and jumbling of not just the lineup, but the batting order that Glenmore has had to do, and yet they're here. What a job coaching to get Baylor to the Super. Binford takes a look at the ball, making sure it's just right, and throws it to first, one down. After starting the conference slate 1-8, they finished 4th in the Big 12. And now Corbiotis digs in for Florida. '55th pitch of the day from Aaliyah Binford. Only 25 of her 56 pitches have been strikes. She has battled, and credit to Florida's offense, making her work. 3-1, yanked, backhanded at third, pops up, throws to first in time. Excellent play by Shannon Vivoda in the hot corner.
I got to know the regimen. I got to know the practice regimen for Baylor defense. What can't they do? Vivoda steps into the hot corner and makes the first play she sees look easy. That play was not easy, I can promise. What the grab, too, from Govan. Almost pulls off the bag, but maintains.
And now 2 outs, bases empty for Skylar Wallace, who was a little bit hobbly coming off the field in the 3rd inning. Good to see her playing both defensively and at the plate and looking spry. The 0-1. Wallace is the only Florida hitter 1 through 4 with a base hit this afternoon. Has singled and walked in the game. And a race to the bag will be won by Shaylin Govan. Afternoon. And if you're just joining us, Baylor trailed 4-0 going into the 4th inning. They got a run back. And now trying to add and cut down this deficit as we get late into the game. Winner to the Women's College World Series. Taylor Strain in the 9 spot. And this is a crucial part of the lineup for the Bears, with Emily Hott, Presley Pylon, Shaylin Govan all due up behind Taylor Strain. Top 3 in the order if Strain can flip it over.
Now Strain's been an important part of this lineup as well on defense. Robbed a home run in regionals against Ole Miss. Kept a go-ahead run off the board with a throw to home plate against Louisiana.
Had that web gem yesterday, robbing a base hit in center field. Looking for her first hit of game 3. The 2-2 from Rothrock. This is a patient at bat from Taylor Strain.
I think you could say that about the whole team. This is a patient at bat that we haven't really seen today. It's been a Baylor team that's been aggressive early.
Strain delivers. A leadoff single in the left field and turns the lineup over for Emily Hott. And radio, our coverage begins 6 Eastern with Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. Emily Hott, deep shot, right field, goodbye! Baylor is right back in it.
Her 11th home run of the season. Her 3rd home run of this postseason, and as timely as it gets. This team understands fight, gritty, clutchness. This is a senior that wants to extend her season and will do anything to put this team in a position to do so. Cutting this deficit down to only a run.
Nobody out for Presley Pylon.
Well, you go back to the conversation, Matt, of now what does the tank look like for Rothrock? Is this potentially nearing a pitching change? Do we see something different in the circle for Florida? Ava Brown came in yesterday after only 3 batters faced after Rothrock got that start.
And she was very good. 6 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, 2 earned runs in relief of Rothrock yesterday. But Aaron, I go back to the 3rd inning. Florida at the plate with the bases loaded, nobody out. Glenn Moore with the challenge of the runner leaving early at second base after it looked like a walk was going to drive in the 5th run of the game for Florida. On a fly ball to left field, 1 down. That challenge by Glenn Moore was successful. And it made a huge difference in this game. It wiped the run off the board, and then Aaliyah Binford got a double play ball to end the inning, keeping the deficit at 4. Baylor responded with a run the next half inning and have responded again with 2 more runs here in the 5th. The games within the game.
Oh, this softball is full of those.
That's why I love this sport.
Me too. One of the many reasons.
1-0 count to Shaylin Govan. And she is someone that can tie this game with one swing of the bat. Homered off Rothrock yesterday in the first inning.
A tough take. That's a pitch too, unless you're sitting up and under the hands, unless you're looking to pull the ball. That location saws off the handle of the bat.
So Van, deep to right field, but playable, and 2 outs.
A good response here from Rothrock in the circle. Gives up a single to start the inning, gives up a bomb to senior Emily Hott, and then continues to challenge the hands. Fearless on the inside part of the strike zone. 2 fly ball outs.
And now battling her counterpart, Aaliyah Binford.
You can see the smile there. Binford, who knows how to dose some heavy changeups, takes one there on the inner half.
Expressive is a word I would use to describe Aaliyah Binford.
Sometimes you just got to tip your cap to the off speed. That's just all there is to it.
Well, Rothrock's off speed has been nasty all year. Her 1-1. Fought off by Binford, who has hit in 11 of her last 13 games, including a single off Rothrock back in the 4th. That is what got the rally started. Later came around to score the first run of the game for the Baylor Bears. Now trailing by 1 in the top of the 5th with 2 down, and the base is empty. Can't say enough about the fight of Keegan Rothrock. Her 3rd consecutive start of the Super Regional. She went the distance on Friday afternoon in a 4-2 Florida win. 80th pitch of Game 3.
To the muscle of situations like this. We've talked about it. There is no substitute for experience. This is a freshman arm in the circle that is feeling this for the first time, postseason for the first time in a Gator uniform. And right now, strengthening a muscle to find a way to get it done.
Will not here, or maybe she will. It was just foul. Binford was thinking 2 right out of the box.
Yeah, Binford battling deep here with 2 strikes, 2 outs on the board. She's helped herself out all weekend long. Can she do it here?
She is 4 for 8 in the Super Regional. Has now made 2 appearances in the circle. Went the distance against Rothrock in Game 1. A warrior for the Baylor team. Ninth pitch of the at-bat. And Aaliyah Binford, somebody that was part of the performance last year that resulted in Oklahoma's only loss last season, and later suffered a season-ending injury. Has completely rebounded here in 2024, putting together one heck of a season. Did she lay off that on a check to first? She did not go around, according to first base umpire Susan Eads.
I don't think it's coincidence that this inning started off with patience. Taylor Strain taking a deep at-bat, seeing the ball deep, leading off this inning with a base hit.
That is a massive strikeout by Keegan Rothrock. ESPN2. Bottom of the 5th in Gainesville. Florida has seen its 4-run lead dwindle to 1. Baylor scoring in each of the last 2 innings. And now the meat of the Florida lineup, led off by Jocelyn Erickson. Emily Hott, a huge 2-run homer last half inning to pull Baylor to within 1.
It's hard not to get emotional when you see seniors like Emily Hott come up and do what she's doing this point in the year. Like, this is a must-win for both of these teams.
Is it bringing back all the feels for you?
Yes, it's so hard too, Matt, to compartmentalize that reality that you're fighting. There's only a handful of outs left between both of these teams, and there are seniors, there are women on both of these squads that this could be it.
Leadoff walk drawn by Jocelyn Erickson, first time aboard today for the SEC Player of the Year. 5 walks in the game now for Aaliyah Binford.
You can tell she's fighting in the circle. It is hot. It is humid. At least we've got some cloud cover right now.
92 and not much of a breeze here in Gainesville.
That was something Glenn Moore told us. He said, we're used to the heat. It's hot in Texas.
Erickson with some speed at first base. 10 for 10 in stolen base attempts this year. And Reagan Walsh, 2 for 2 this afternoon with a pair of singles driving in 1 run. Dangerous part of this Florida lineup. And quickly 3-0 to Reagan Walsh. '70th pitch of the day for Aaliyah Binford. And back-to-back walks to start the 5th. And again, if you're just joining us, it was Riley Crandall who started the game for the Baylor Bears. Knocked out in the 2nd inning, giving way to Aaliyah Binford, who has battled. Only 31 of her 70 pitches have been strikes.
Well, those are the only 2 arms that we've seen for this Super Regional. Outside of that, it's Casey West, only 44 innings on the year, 27 Ks, over a 5 ERA. So the majority of the work has been Crandall and Binford.
Avery Gels comes in a pinch run for Reagan Walsh. It's very similar to Florida.
Yeah.
The majority of the work has been Keegan Rothrock and Ava Brown, a pair of freshmen. That's the big difference. Katie Kistler looks at strike 1.
Kistler, one of those seniors on the field.
Drops down a bunt, spinning, and the throw down to third is not in time, according to third base umpire Terry Holt. Now the Baylor players are all signaling to their dugout they would like a challenge here. And Glenn Moore is going to pop out promptly. That was a bang-bang play at third base. And now for the second time in the last 3 innings, Florida has the bases loaded with nobody out. A chance to blow it open in the 5th. Last time Binford was able to dance out of this jam. Turned a double play by herself on a line drive back to the mound, then picking off the runner at first base to get out of the inning unscathed. And Ariel Kowalewski. What a postseason for the freshman. Hits in 9 of her last 11 games. Drills this deep to center field. Back on it is Strain and will make the catch. Into tag from third is Jocelyn Erickson. And the Gators are back up by 2.
Solid swing by Kowalewski, knowing that all she's got to do is see the ball deep into the green. Nice and easy cut. It's a really good read by Strain in center field.
Her 4th RBI of the postseason.
You live for these moments as hitters. That's my favorite time to hit. The freedom you feel with runners, specifically in scoring position, less than 2 outs on the field. You got room to cut it loose.
Ava Brown's 2-0 up the middle, fielded by Pylon. What a play by the shortstop. 2 down as both runners advance. How good has she been defensively in this Super Regional?
I can't even put it into perspective. This ball is dug, a hard chop, running up the middle of the field. Makes it look routine.
And now 2 outs and 2 in scoring position for Mia Williams. Pylon has made some game-saving plays defensively this weekend. Oh, and 2 to Williams. Big opportunity again for Binford to get out of an inning in which she had bases loaded, nobody out, while allowing just 1 Florida run. 1 strike away. And for Mia Williams, a chance to do more damage. Her first postseason hit. A 2-run homer knocking Riley Crandall out of the game. The 1-2. Binford gets a strikeout. 1 game to none. And they trailed in this Super. 1 game to none after Florida won Game 1, 4-2 on Friday afternoon. Bears came storming back in Game 2, winning that 5-2. To force a decisive Game 3.
We've got Gels now at first base for Florida. Wonder if that gives way for a little opportunity to warm up for Ava Brown. I think
it does look like Ava Brown is potentially getting loose in the Florida bullpen.
Ava Brown's actually in the dugout.
Oh, you're right. I can't see that far into the bullpen.
We need some binocs up here.
1-2 is fouled off. 90 pitches on the day for Keegan Rothrock. And remember, Rothrock went the distance in game 1, throwing 104 pitches.
Mackenzie Wooten warming up for Florida in the bullpen.
2-2 count to Sydney Cavazos. Has already singled and driven in 1 run in this game. In fact, it was the first run scored by Baylor back in the 4th.
I love the fiery nature of Cavazos, the way that she plays the game. Calls it like she sees it, not afraid to take a risk, gritty mentality, just honest in the way she plays ball, and I love it.
Here she is driving this left field down the line and just foul of the pole and left. Has had to play a little third base this year, has caught for the Bears and is battling here a 9-pitch at bat against Keegan Rothrock. Battling has been the Bears' MO. Only unseeded team left in the NCAA tournament. The 2-2. And yesterday ended Florida's 12-game win streak, which was tied for the second longest active streak in the country behind UCLA. They have been the underdog all postseason, beating national seed Louisiana in Game 7 in Lafayette last weekend. Now trying to do it again here against the 4-seed Florida Gators. This into the alley and right center, but playable for Kistler. 1 down. It's a Memorial Day. Coverage begins tomorrow, 1 Eastern, from Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. A 1-0 to Anna Watson. And Aaliyah Binford has been a big part of the fight. Not just today, but all postseason, being called upon again for the second time in 3 days in the circle.
So much respect for what she's done in the circle for this team. Both of these arms, Rothrock, Binford, Brown, Crandall. I mean, the fight, having to dig deep.
3-1 is backhanded deep in the hole by Wallace, and the throw is off the mark. An infield 1-out single by Anna Watson.
Flashing some speed here, pounds this ball into the ground. Skylar trying to give chase, but in the 5-6 hole, just too deep with the legs of Watson.
Now the tying run comes to the plate in the form of pinch hitter Zadie LaValle. Got the start in game 1 behind the plate and went 0 for 3. Can tie it with 1 swing of the bat. LaValle, a senior from Choctaw, Oklahoma, will step out and watch Tim Walton come into the circle for the Florida Gators, though it does not look like we'll see a pitching change.
Now 104 pitches now on the day for Rothrock. This is just to take a beat, check in, maybe give her a breath to try and finish this inning.
She had 104 in game 1, 12 yesterday, and now 104 today. But she has been the horse all season. You said it coming into the day, Aaron. 226 and 2/3 innings pitched. The rest of the staff a combined 164. A 1-1 count to the senior Zadie LaValle. Into right field, Kistler is there, 2 down. Anna Watson, a 6th-year senior from Hewitt, Texas, at first base, battling to keep her career alive. 2 outs in the 6th for Casey West, and that is caught. No, played off one hop by Mia Williams and gets it to first base in time. Baylor 3-1 all-time in game 3s. Florida 5-1 all-time in game 3s. And in their last 3 trips to the Super Regional, Baylor has reached the Women's College World Series.
So I'll be looking for her first base hit of the weekend.
Oh for 10 in the Super. One down in the 6th. Twice today, Florida has had bases loaded, nobody out, and has managed just 1 run. They've been on the cusp multiple times in this game.
To blow it open.
To blowing it open. Corby Otis can certainly do it. Saw her do it in game 1.
This is where you start to feel the weight of what this game is. For both of these teams, what's on the line?
A trip to Oklahoma City. And it's why Corby Otis came to Gainesville. First team All-American at Louisville. Spent 2 seasons with the Cardinals in the ACC, but wanted more for her career. Wanted to come to a program to play with the best, against the best, with an opportunity to win titles. Florida on the precipice of their 12th trip to the Women's College World Series. And Tim Walton told us he knew within 15 minutes of speaking to Corby Otis that she was a Gator. Totally aligned with her head coach. Drives this into center field. Floating in is Taylor Strain, 2 down. And now, speaking of players totally aligned with their head coach, here is Skylar Wallace.
I loved her one-liner to us. We asked her why Florida? What was it about Florida? And her answer was, why not? Check out the defensive shift here. Pylon standing directly behind second base. We saw Skylar Wallace burn this defense on the shift yesterday.
Look what I found, says Aaliyah Binford. And now Baylor down to its final 3 outs. Strain, hot, Pylon. A single in her last at bat against Keegan Rothrock. And this part of the order has been successful for the Bears. The last time Strain led off an inning, she singled, followed by an Emily Hott 2-run homer to bring Baylor to within 1. And Hott stands on deck. Strain, backhanded, bobbled by Wallace. Not in time. Strain is aboard in the 7th. And the tying run will come to the plate for the Baylor Bears.
Right off the end of the bat for Strain. She has been living on this side of the field. She sees the ball deep, challenges one of the best in our game at shortstop, Skylar Wallace, unable to come up cleanly. And right now it feels like the door's open. And it's been open just slightly this whole game.
And this call on the field has been challenged, and why not? They're going to review it, actually. The umpires are going to review here the call on the field of safe. I don't see anything here that overturns that.
No. I mean, this is safe. It was the right call. Really good speed by Taylor Strain. We've seen her flash the speed defensively. She uses it here to apply pressure.
Further review, the call on the field is upheld.
And a very similar situation to the 5th inning. A single to lead it off in the 9th spot by Taylor Strain, passing the bat to Emily Hott, who homered. She is the tying run at the plate for the Baylor Bears. Nobody out in the top of the 7th. Aaron, you have talked about the leadership of the senior class of this Baylor program. Emily Hott, one of those seniors.
She had the 2-run shot back in the 5th. Has homered 3 times this postseason.
That 2-run bomb in the 5th was her first hit of the Super Regional. .112 pitches for Keegan Rothrock in her 3rd start of the weekend. A deserved Final 3 honoree for National Freshman of the Year. Trying to pitch Florida to their 12th trip to the Women's College World Series. Full count to Hott. This is what she did in the 5th.
Up in the zone. This is a rise ball hung letter high. And into the power alley, pull side of the field. Lefty gets a hold of it.
Another payoff. Taylor Strain at first base. Emily Hott the tying run. Baylor down to its final 3 outs in their first Super Regional appearance since 2017. And just the second walk of the day by Keegan Rothrock. Matt Schick in the studio. Tim Walton has come to the circle here in Gainesville and brought in his entire defense. With the game-tying run now aboard in the form of Emily Hott and Presley Pylon due up for the Baylor Bears. Baylor seeking their 5th Women's College World Series appearance. Florida seeking their 12th. Last went in 2022 and have 5 players on the roster who were part of that 2022 team. Keegan Rothrock was not. A freshman. Her first year in a Gator uniform. Tasked with getting out of the 7th and sending her team to Oklahoma City. Bunt popped up and caught by Ariel Kowalewski. 1 down.
The last thing you want to see is that bunt opportunity to be popped up to the infield. I mean, you work all season just to get this sacrifice down to move what would be the 2 tying runs an additional 60 feet.
And now it is Shaylin Govan. Who played through an injury all last season and managed to be an All-American. Suffered a torn labrum her first weekend of conference play. Told us her shoulder would slip in and out at times when she was at the plate. Had a surgery in June of 2024 and was nervous coming back from that injury, working with a sports psychologist. Has followed up an All-American season with an even better year this year. Tying run aboard and the 1-2.
This is one of the most clutch bats right now offensively for Baylor. What Govan has done in the last 10 games coming into this weekend, batting .500 in the last 8 starts.
She is 8 for 17 with 3 homers in the postseason. And she is the go-ahead run at the plate for the Baylor Bears. The 2-2 from Keegan Rothrock is sent in the air to left field and caught on the warning track by Corby Otis. 2 down in the 7th.
We could feel the tension in the air on that swing. That's so solidly struck. Just happens to be right at Corby Otis. Big smiles there from Rothrock. That's a big out.
The freshman is 1 out away from sending Florida to the Women's College World Series for the 12th time. In steps Aaliyah Binford. And what a super Aaliyah Binford has had. Not only pitching twice, but has gone 4 for 7 at the plate with a home run. She homered off Keegan Rothrock yesterday, and it was a 3-run bomb. The 1-1 to Binford. Should she get on, Sydney Cavazos awaits on deck. One of 6 Baylor seniors, hoping to get one more at bat in her storied career. And what a senior class for Baylor, helping bring this program where they have not been since 2017. After beginning conference play 1-8, battling to the Super Regional. 3-1 to Binford. Is sent foul.
The season, too, for Baylor, what they have put together, what they have done specifically down the stretch. The fight, the grit, confidence that it's taken to get here.
Down to their final strike. Tying run aboard, go ahead run at the plate. And the 3-2 from Rothrock is a pop-up, right side. And for the 12th time in history, Florida is going back to the College World Series. And radio, our coverage begins 6 Eastern with Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. Emily Hott, deep shot, right field, goodbye! Baylor is right back in it.
Her 11th home run of the season. Her 3rd home run of this postseason, and as timely as it gets. This team understands fight, gritty, clutchness. This is a senior that wants to extend her season and will do anything to put this team in a position to do so. Cutting this deficit down to only a run.
Nobody out for Presley Pylon.
Well, you go back to the conversation, Matt, of now what does the tank look like for Rothrock? Is this potentially nearing a pitching change? Do we see something different in the circle for Florida? Ava Brown came in yesterday after only 3 batters faced, after Rothrock got that start.
And she was very good. 6 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, 2 earned runs in relief of Rothrock yesterday. But Aaron, I go back to the 3rd inning. Florida at the plate with the bases loaded, nobody out. Glenn Moore with the challenge of the runner leaving early at second base after it looked like a walk was going to drive in the 5th run of the game for Florida. On a fly ball to left field, 1 down. That challenge by Glenn Moore was successful. And it made a huge difference in this game. It wiped the run.